Well, welcome to Modeling Time with me, Brian Banna, and another episode in O-scale freight cars, particularly this PS-2 two-bay hopper. Today I spent the whole day basically out at the North Carolina Museum of Transportation, and I think I now have all the information I need to stop procrastinating and build this car. On top of that, I also have pretty much every drawing there is that I can get, except for maybe the hopper gates from the Norfolk and Western Historical Society. They have all the PS2 blueprints. I got something on my glasses here. And so I finished purchasing all of those. So now I have everything to do, all the end cages, everything underneath and such. So and here's my work for today. Just pages upon pages upon pages of dimensional information, just to back up what I've seen in the blueprints, and maybe to get a little bit more understanding of how the car is built and how the pieces go together. Like for instance, when I drew up the center bolster plate, the part that the truck rides on, there's a race in it and all that stuff. I thought those were bolted on. Well, actually they are riveted in place. So I've got to correct my drawing for that and put the rivets on it and such. So again, I got a really good understanding for how the car is built. It was really cool getting up close with the trucks, because where the bolster plate comes up and then levels off to come to the side sill, on the truck, there's a bracket that has I guess you would call it a caster in it, a roller. It doesn't have a axle in it or anything like that. It's just sitting in this bracket, and the bracket has the ends closed off, so it can roll approximately 6 inches front to back, and it's just free rolling in there. And there's a wear plate underneath the bolster, the bolster bracket that comes out to the side sill, and that wear plate is like a 1/4 inch to an 1/8 inch off of that caster or roller. So it was really cool seeing stuff like that, seeing how the car's built, seeing how the brakes are all nestled in there and run. And really, guys, these cars, when you break them down, they're just structural steel parts and sheet metal. Not necessarily sheet metal like a car, like an automobile sheet metal. We're talking heavy gauge sheet metal, and a lot of the brackets are 3/8 inch plate and things like that. So it's really cool. So let me get the camera set up over here, and I'll show you what my next step is on this car. Okay, so this is what you saw the car look like last time I did the video, but now I need to actually start building it. What I did do is I did cut this center brace out that Lionel had in there. You can see I milled it all the way down. It's flat, but you won't see any of that anyway. And I got work to do in there also. So the first thing to do is to set this sill, the proper height of this sill up. Now, what I gathered today, and I'm really happy I went out there today to get this. Let me see if I can find it here. Here we go. This drawing here, right here. This is the center sill right here. That's this thing looking down that way at it. So there's let me get a pencil here. So there's the top of the center sill. This plate right here, that's this, you don't see it on the, you don't see it anywhere on the model, but there's a plate that sits right up underneath here, and it's at the very top of the center sill. Well, what you're seeing here is this plate comes out, and then it's bent up and over, and this is the side sill right here. So this is the part you see from the outside of the car. Well, from the bottom of the side sill, basically to the top of the center sill, is a 1/2 inch. So what I need to do is I need to fill this portion here up to be even with this, and then add a 1/2 inch. A 1/2 inch is 10 thousandths. So that this part of the center sill is below. Is that right? Below, yeah, below the side sill by a 1/2 inch. So I've got to. This has to be lifted up a little bit. And actually, what I'll have to probably do is fill in these notches here, because I built them, those notches, where the sill is all the way down like this, but this is going to have to sit up a little bit, so I'm going to have to fill those notches a little bit once I get the height properly set. So most likely what I will do, because you're not going to see anything in the center here, is I'll get a piece of styrene that goes all the way down that will set this sill up to the proper height. Then I can glue it in place, and then I can add the sill pieces. When I do the next car, this is one of the learning points. When I do the next car, I'll know to now set this height up before I make I guess you call it the web, but it's not really the web, but this I-beam part. I'll just call it the I-beam part, the part that sticks out. I'll be able to set that on there and then cut those properly for where they'll be on the car, because these are a little, if you look under the car, you'll see that gap there. So I'll just add a piece of styrene in there and trim it to shape, and that way it'll look just like what you see here right up against the bays. Now, like I said before, in reality, this frame runs all the way through, but because Lionel did not make these bay shapes properly, the prototype width frame is too wide to fit between those. But once it's all done, you won't even notice that or see it. But I want it to have it at the right height, and I want to have the right, I want to have these I-beam portions going right into the bays like that. So my job right now is to get this all leveled off and then bring it up a 1/2 inch, or bring it down a 1/2 inch below the side sill. All right, so I'm making some good progress here, and it's always a positive thing. So I've got the frame here. This surface is even with this surface. So what I did is first I had to glue in some spacers on the bottom. Those are 60 thousandths to take up where this portion of the frame fit in to the model. So I had to level that off, and then I put a piece of 60 thousandths up on top. And what's kind of nice is the Lionel's current molding is fairly square, because I put this in the mill, and I touched the mill bit down on this side of the frame. Then I brought it over, and it was exactly the same on this side. So then I could go and make the cut. If it was a little bit higher or lower, I'd have to find a new method of leveling this and getting it done. But since this side and this side are on the same plane, I was able to cut this to all be on the same plane. So I did the same thing for the other side. So right now, the top of the frame here, or the sill, let's call that the center sill, top of the center sill is now even with this side sill. Now, we can't have that. This top of the center sill needs to be a 1/2 inch lower than the top of this. Well, in 48 scale, a 1/2 inch is 10 thousandths. It's actually 0.0104, but the 0.04, really? Come on. So it's 10 thousandths. So I'm going to glue a piece of 10 thousandths here, and then I'll have this frame at the correct height. And then I have to go back and fill in these little gaps here with some styrene. And that'll take care of that. And I can get the frame glued in place and also, I don't know if I'm going to glue it in place yet, but because I have to put these center supports in here, and I don't know if I want to do that. Well, actually I can do that, because the center supports, the triangles that go in here, they overlap the outside of the frame. So it's no big deal if I wanted to glue this in right now. And gluing it in would make it easier to fill those notches on the ends there too. So next step will be to put some 10,000 styrene on there to get the center sill at the correct height off the side sill. All right, now in the last clip I had built these platforms here so that I could get this center sill piece here at the same level as these side sills. Today I added the half-inch piece of styrene, or actually not half-inch, a 10,000th piece of styrene on top of that, and I filled in these notches on the corners here where this center sill fits between the bays. So now when I set this in, the center sill does not move. It's perfectly centered in there, and the top of the center sill now is a ½ inch below the side sill. So that fully takes care of the center sill. Next time I do this, I know what needs to be done or the steps I need to go through, so I'll build all this up first, then I'll build my center sill, but I won't add the flange on the bottom, and then I'll build this up, and then I'll set it in there, get it all lined up, and then put the flange in place. Now remember, the flange is going to continue out underneath the draft gearboxes, but I still need to build the draft gearbox internals and get the coupler, get everything set up for the coupler, and get the coupler height and those kinds of things. These blocks are only in here to keep the sides from bowing in. I was able to cut this so that there's a 1/4 inch opening in there, and then I can, of course, build the striker plates and those things. So the next step in this process will be to build all of the supports on the center of the car. Once that's done, then I can glue this center sill in place and start building everything off the ends. But for right now, that takes care of building the center sill and getting it at the proper orientation or location in relationship to the car body. All right, so that takes care of working on the center sill. I kind of want to break these videos down into maybe a little bit shorter segments, or maybe not segments, but shorter videos. I don't want to do a whole bunch of stuff at once and then have this big long video. I'd like to break it down into specific items. Like this video was just about the center sill. The next video will be just about building the supports on the center of the car and that kind of stuff. So there'll be more videos, but I think they'll be more focused on one specific item rather than a whole plethora of steps and those kind of situations. So I hope you enjoyed that. It was it's moving along. Again, it's going to be slow, but I do have plans to show some more really cool stuff. As you can see in the background right there, I got my 3D printer. So I'm looking forward to that. I still have to get the wash and cure station. That's supposed to come in the mail tomorrow. So that takes care of that video. And this is just a little bit of a feature I did today. I grit blasted it, got all the paint off of it and stuff. There's still some paint in there that I need to blast off. I need to correct some things. This is why I don't like brass, really. But I didn't know that Weaver made this car. If I did, I wouldn't have bought this brass one. But I have it, and I will do something with it. I need to fix this walkway support here. It's crooked. The people that Precision Scale or the workers who did this soldered that on crooked, so I need to fix that. There's another piece. One of the stirrup steps came off. It was soldered really weak, and it just all I did is knock and it popped right off. So luckily a few years ago I bought a resistance soldering station, so I will use that and solder those back on and hopefully be able to fix this crooked roof walk piece here. After that, I will grit blast it again and get all the paint that I missed, to get all of that off. There's a little bit on the top of the hatch there and stuff like that. But I had grit blasted already, and these hatches, they really move well now. Some of them flop open. The grit really cleans out any goop and gunk and paint, of course, and in the joints and stuff. So it'll look all right. It's going to. I'm pretty sure it's going to remain a Pennsylvania car. I have the big Pennsylvania Railroad freight car art book for all the lettering and sizes of everything and stuff. So I'll probably do that. So anyway. I really appreciate your time and taking the time out of your day to watch these videos. I hope you enjoyed it and that you'll stay with it. And because I know I am, I love doing this super fine detail work. So I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you.